At the end of this video, you will know what a Russian case is, and you'll know how to study the Russian cases. This is going to make your Russian easier. It's going to be less frustrating, and most importantly, it's going to make you a better Russian speaker. Здравствуйте всем, меня зовут Jared, и я делаю русский язык легким. Hey everybody, my name's Jared, and I make the Russian language easy. Learning Russian cases just comes down to 2 skills. And after we talk about what a Russian case is, we're going to go through each one of those things. Okay, let's start with what is a Russian case. And I'm going to use an English sentence to teach this. Let's take the sentence, I bought my mom a dog. In Russian, because of cases, you could also say, I dog bought my mom. Now, in English, because we're smart, we would probably figure out what the person talking about meant, but it kind of hurts our ears. We're like, this isn't right. It should be, I bought my mom a dog. But because of Russian cases, word endings change to indicate their meaning in a sentence. Here's all of the words that we need for this sentence. This is how you would find them in the dictionary. There's no changes. Once we put them into this sentence and we put them into the cases, you'll see how they change like this. What I've done is I've color-coded the endings based on the case they use. So my mom is in one case and dog is another case. Now, if we rearrange these words and put dog right after I, you can see that the endings stay the same, and as such, the meaning doesn't change. So the question then is, well, what is a case in Russian? A Russian case is just a way of categorizing a word's usage or meaning in a sentence as indicated by its endings. Okay, so really kind of understand that. That's an important principle. It's the word's meaning or usage in a sentence as indicated by its endings. The Russian language uses 6 different cases to indicate the word's meaning in a sentence. You're probably starting to clue in that, wow, this could get really big and really complicated really fast. And it can. Mastering the cases in Russian is probably, 70% of learning Russian. But it doesn't need to be overwhelming. Learning a case just comes down to 2 different factors, and that's what I want to talk about next. But if you're getting value out of this video, I would love it if you would hit the like button down below. Okay, here's the 2 things that you need to learn when learning a case. First thing that you need to learn is the endings. And I'm not going to lie to you, there's a lot of endings for each case. The easiest way to memorize those is just to break them down into little chunks. I would recommend that you don't say, okay, today I'm going to learn the endings for the accusative case, and you just go learn all the different endings. You're probably going to forget them. You may get them mixed up with other cases. Pick off one chunk, memorize those, and then actually use them in Russian sentences. And once you kind of get that down, you're like, okay, I'm comfortable with that. I feel like I know what I'm doing. Then go and memorize the endings for a different section of that case. That's really the easiest way to do it. To hit them all at once, that's overwhelming. Okay, that's the first thing that you need to know about cases is their endings, and that's just memorization. The second thing you need to know is when to use the case. Now, you may be like, okay, great, here comes the hard part, and there's going to be a whole bunch of different exceptions. That's how it was taught to me, and it was frustrating. But I finally figured something out. It doesn't have to be that way, okay? These are the 4 things that you need to know about each case. First is what part of speech is the case used in? And I know that's kind of a lot of grammar there, but really there's only 2 cases that applies to. The next thing you need to understand is which verbs require that case. Certain verbs require the use of certain cases, and you just want to memorize those. There's not a big, huge, long list. There's maybe, anywhere from 3 to 4 on the low end to maybe a dozen on the high end. So that's not too bad. Then you want to learn which prepositions require which case. Prepositions are words like in, on, to, things like that. Certain prepositions require certain cases depending on what you're trying to say in the sentence, and you want to learn those. Then the last category here is what I call special cases. And you're probably thinking, okay, great, this is the miscellaneous area where everything comes in and I'm never going to learn it. It's not as hard as it seems. On the low end, there's probably 2 or 3 special instances for one case. And on the high end, the genitive case, I don't know exactly how many, there's maybe 6. So it's not like this big, okay, I got to learn 10 different exceptions for each case. It's not like that. It's a lot easier than you think. Okay, so those are the 2 things that you need to learn for each case: the endings and when to use it. And when to use it is broken down into 4 areas: the part of speech, verbs, prepositions, and special instances. Really not that bad. If you're just starting out learning Russian, or you've been trying to learn Russian and it's been a little frustrating, I know that this can be overwhelming. If you need a little bit more help, I've got a free PDF which you can download off of my website. I'll put the link down below in the show notes. I think that'll really help you if you haven't quite figured it out from this video. And if you still have questions, by all means, put those questions in the comments and I will respond to them and help you as best I can there. Because you're learning Russian, I got to give you a little bit of homework. So today's homework: 1, subscribe to the channel so you will get more information on each individual case and you can master those. 2, if you're still confused about what a Russian case is, go download the PDF off of my website. And 3, and this should be common sense, really make sure that you understand what a case is and what you need to be studying for it. Ну, хорошо тогда. Это все. Спасибо и до свидания.